Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Tales to Testimony. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you for joining in, thank you for staying, and I hope you all are doing good. And I'm excited for today's episode. Today we have Brother Soloman Lambani with us. He's a worship leader. He hails from Goa. We want to know a lot about him and we'll know it together. And there's questions that we have prepared to ask him. And I'm excited to ask it to him. So he's one of the most genuine human that I've come across, and I am very sure that his story and his life will bless you in ways. So let's have him and welcome him together.
Hi Solomon,
Hi.
welcome to Tales to Testimony.
Hi. Hi. Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good as well. So I just introduced you, but I want to ask you this. If you were to introduce yourself, how would you do that?
I'm Soloman Lambani, a child of God, worshipper, um, interior designer, architect by default, and yeah, a good human being.
Yes, that you are, for sure. So let's jump into the questions.
Yeah, sure.
So the first question I want to ask is not the question that I ask everybody about the childhood. Before that, I want to ask you something that what is with the surname Lambani? Like this is a surname I came across for the first time. Is it like some rich surnames like Ambani, or you you come from the rich families? Tell me something about it.
Well, I'm not a brother of Ambani. Lambani is it's a Banjara tribe. If you know about Banjara, it's also called as Lamani. So actually, the original term of Lamani is Lambani. So it has a B. So most of them they get confused like if it's Ambani or Lambani. But it's a Banjara tribe. I come from a Banjara background, so that's why it's Lambani. Some people also think it's a what do you say? Some Sindhi name. It's not Sindhi name. I'm not a Sindhi. I am from a Banjara tribe. Yes.
Nice. Okay, so moving on to the next question would be tell me little about your childhood. Where were you born? To whom were you born? Who is in your family? About your siblings? A little about yourself.
Yeah. I was born in a village called Beldadi. It's in Karnataka. An insignificant village. You'll not find it on the Google. Well, it's in Gadag in city in Karnataka where I was born. And I have my parents, mom, dad, and I have two elder brothers. I'm the youngest. And at the age of 5, I was brought to Goa, and I was put in the children's home. So all of my life I was in Goa. So yes, brief story.
So you're like a Goa kid. So how was your life in Goa started? Like from a 5 years old child. And I want to know how was your school life? Were you a famous kid in the school, or you were studious? You were so much into activities. How was it?
Yeah, the reason to come to Goa, actually, I come from a very poor background, and my mom, dad, like they could not afford my studies, my food. It was like so difficult for them. So one of the missionaries from Goa, they brought me to Goa actually. So I know it was very hard. At the age of 5, I think I still having milk. My mom used to say that, and I was brought to Goa, and I was raised up in a children's home called El Chadai. That's where I grew up, and yeah, growing up in the orphanage. I mean, not an orphanage, it's a home kind of orphanage. You know how you feel. I always wanted to stay with parents. First of all, I always wanted to be born in a rich family like Ambani's and all. That was my that is my thing. I should always curse myself. Why did I born in this family? And when I used to see other children in school, I know to see their parents and compare myself, it was like very hard. Yes, my school, I don't have a good, proper school routines kind of, but I was I studied till 10th, like that was open schooling. I could not do my further schooling because of my situation back at home. So financial problem. But somehow I finished my 10th, and I was a very, very, a child which you can say all rounder. Yes, all rounder. I was good at drama, acting, singing, and you name it. In any activities you have in the church, I mean the school will take part in speech competition, say it dance competition. I was always there. Now I was always good at dramatics. I used to love acting. I always wanted to become an actor. So I
Oh.
started all the stage show, and I used to all do that. I was like a limelight wherever people used to recognize me. Ah, that boy, kind of famous. Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Even in that time, like God gave you so much of creativity and you became famous in a like that young age. Maybe Ambani was
Yeah.
not that famous when he was young.
Yeah.
But that is good. So, having said that, how was your teenage? Did you ever make it to college? And how was your teenage years of growing and growing into from a small boy to a boy now to a man? How was the journey?
Well, actually, I always wanted to study. That was my heart. I really wanted to study, do my further study. I had a lot of dreams. Wanted to become, a big man. I mean, I used to think it's only possible through studies, and which is also true. But due to my condition at home, I did not get that opportunity to study. But yes, but I was actually fed up in the homes because all these years, like almost 20 years, I was in that home. So I always wanted freedom. I wanted to move out. I wanted to see the world. So I myself stepped out of uh, the boarding, and I said I'm going to start doing something, maybe work or try to earn for myself. Yes. So that's how I
Nice.
could not do my further studies, but I started working at a very early age. Where I think the first job that I did was at the age of 15. I used to work in the subway
Oh.
making bread, burgers.
So, so nice. So,
Yeah.
coming back to El Shaddai Charitable Trust, so how is it knowing that you have parents and then you still have to stay in an orphanage where and a home and like there were many kids like you. I want to ask you, like I know it was hard, I know it was not easy, and there were time breaking down. But if you look back now, what are the things that you take back from the time that you stayed there or grew there?
Well, I mean, I will always talk big about El Shaddai because I mean, that was the place where I was nurtured. Means I was taught. I think I wouldn't be at this place if I was not there in El Shaddai because I would not speak English. I think I would be still farming like my brothers and my father in the field. Yes, I've learned a lot in El Shaddai. Maybe especially like to face people, to talk to people, especially English. I've learned, and yeah, I grew with I had a lot of opportunities to explore in that place. It was not kind of an orphanage as such, but it was a home. So children home is not only for is not only for the orphans. There are also orphans staying there, but it's also for the underprivileged children who cannot afford or who has a single parent. Like if a parent is the only mother or is the only father, but still they don't have financial or to take care of the children. They also are allowed. But it's also if there is like a parents, there are parents, but they're drinking and they are harassing the children and they cannot take care of them. So there is those children also are there. In my case, it was a little different. My parents, in fact, I had 8 brothers and one sister that was after me. So 8 brothers. I'm like I have only 2 brothers left. The reason was my parents could not take care of them in that village because of medicines and good proper food, and that was the major issue. So
Major
I
issue.
mean my mom, yeah, my mom didn't want to lose me, so she had to like give it away and say at least at least one son will study. Actually, I'm only the person who is like little educated in my family. Yes, and I am so
Ah,
grateful for El Shaddai. And the homes.
So nice. I'm sure that God had his eye, and like out of all your siblings, he picked you up.
Yes.
So, how of this journey that you know that you were getting famous and people were liking you and people you had the attention. Have ever in that age or period of time you ever had identity crisis? या हमेशा ऐसा था यार नहीं यार मेरे को तो लोग जानते हैं I'm famous. You never had any low moment. Yeah, you were very confident about your talents and what all you had and you were doing.
Um, Actually, there was a lot of low moments, but I should never show it. I never. The first thing, I don't show all these emotions. I'm very kind of a that guy who doesn't show emotions. I don't express, but it is in within me. Even if I'm sad, I will try to avoid and not to share with others. But yeah, I struggled myself in alone at many times. After my education, after I had to leave El Chadai, I think that was the toughest time because everything was so ready-made for me. Like means I used to. This was the first time that I saw the world, and I was little afraid. New people, new life, new job. It was totally different for me. But sometimes there was a lot of issues with finance, yes, and was staying with friends, sharing the room, and yeah, even my job, because my main thing was I have not completed my studies, and it's only 10th. I had no hope that I will get any good job or good paid salary, or that was out of question. But I knew one thing, that I had to struggle, I have to work hard to do something. And I used to always curse God, like, why did you do this, why not? That was always my question to God. I used to like fight with God and say, why I only have to struggle, why I only have to do all these things. I used to cook myself, like from age of 15 years. I used to cook myself, right? And till now, I mean, most of the time I still cook. So that was like not. I always wanted parents beside me, and they cook, and then I see people. That was not there. So I used to always tell to myself, I think nothing is going to have come out. I also wanted to become an actor. So for that, to reach to that level, I think it's no question about it. It's not going to happen because of the financial issue and because of my current situation. But even in my workplace, because of my education, there was low salary pay. Like nobody wants to give you salary because I was in need of money. I used to work for salary. But at the point, I said, I think nothing good is going to come out from my life. I should just live life as it is. Yeah, that was
So
a
when you
lonely
had
period.
yeah,
Yeah.
so when you were staying and living in such a low moment, asking questions from God, why me and why all this is happening with me and all of that stuff. In between of all this, I want to ask, when did, with you having so much against God and so much upsetness, if not grudge, you were sad and upset with God. So when was the moment that the God moment happened, that you had an encounter with God and things changed for you?
Um, I'm going to share the encounter part a little later, but I'm going to tell a part which really I had a wrestle with God at one point. Um, since I was telling you, I always struggle from my childhood. Like I did not have a proper education. I was upset, and why orphanage? I always wanted to stay with parents. That is no proper education. I'm not loved. So I used to all think this because of my parents far away. They used to come to visit me once in a year maybe, and all these things. After work also no proper job, and everything was like, really, why it is happening to me only. You know, Somehow I'm also with my friends. I missed the track with some of my friends. I was always good, but because of my friend circle, I was among them. So I always thought, why nothing good is happening. I got a job finally, a good job, and I thought now my life is going to settle. I was working for a company called Novia Furniture. It's an interior designing company. I had few knowledge about AutoCAD, and then I thought, this is now my life is going to set. And I started working in that place. and the boss was so rude. I'm sorry if my boss is that, but if the boss was so rude, um, that he used to always torture me. It's like, you fellow, faltu fellow, you have no brains. You're good for nothing. You're useless. Nothing good is coming out of you. In fact, I am the person who, I do a lot of self learning. I learn myself because if anything that I like, I always Google, find about it. If it is a new design, because I'm not done a proper formal education to do all this interior design. So I should go Google, find out how this, learn this software, that software, and I was trying to cope up. And my boss here, he has zero knowledge about interior designer. He just started with architect partnering. Then he kicked off the architect as a partner, and he took me in his place and started working. So I was like trying to cope up, and he was like, "No, you are useless." No, he was not trying to understand the technical things, because if he was an architect or if he was a person who knows designing, so he would understand. But he is not that person. He just invested money. He has a big company, and then I was like trying to understand, but he used to always curse me. And so I remember sometimes I used to go home and like cry sometimes, yes, and so, like, what is happening? I thought now at least my life would settle. And it was same every day. Every day it was the same. And I thought I will try to impress him by working late night and giving more hours of work. So I started working for a longer period of time, just to impress him. Sir, I did this, and at the end the same result. Lot of bad words that comes to me, like I've heard all the bad words. Then I used to like again go home. I was fed up. I was so much fed up. I remember I was staying. It was the accommodation given to me by the same boss, so it was a small room, and just I used to always go. When I feel myself alone, there was a big mirror in the room, and I used to talk to myself. And because since I love acting, so I used to talk to myself two roles. Like I say, "Hey, Solon," and then I say, "No, no, no, no." All this time, I used to talk to myself because I was alone in the room, and I came to a point. I said, "It's enough is enough." I was praying that day, and I was really in tears, and I said, "God, I cannot take it anymore." I tried to impress my boss so much. I tried to work overnight, over extra times, but still, nothing changes happening. So I was praying and I was actually weeping, and suddenly there was a boy. I said to the Lord, I cannot satisfy anybody. I tried to satisfy a lot of people, especially my boss. I tried to impress him a lot, but I could not satisfy him. I told Lord, I cannot satisfy anybody. There's some voice came from within. It said, Solomon. Then I said, I knew it was somebody speaking to me. He said, you cannot satisfy anybody in this world. Maybe it's your brother, your parents, your sister, your friends, or your boss. But if you can satisfy somebody, satisfy me. So I asked one question to God. I said, God, are you satisfied with my life? Are you happy with my life? And he said, yes. Means I heard that the voice coming, yes. And I said, that's it. If you are satisfied with me, now I don't care a damn. This was the word I used. I said, nothing doing. I said, now I'm not going to work for any boss. I'm going to work for you because I know you are the source. If you're giving me the wages or payment or salary, that has to come from you, and then it comes to me. How about I working for you directly? That was my deal with God. And he said, from that day, I remember I started going to house group prayer, and that the inner healing that started coming from me, within me. I felt so peace, joy. Then the next day I went to work. He used to shout, scream. I used to listen from one ear, and then I used to leave it from the other ear. I did not care because I know I cannot satisfy this person. I cannot satisfy anybody. I'll do my job. I'm going to do. I'm telling you, things began to change.
Wow.
Suddenly my boss, my clients started coming and saying, Solomon is so good. Because of him, I'm giving the order. They was telling the boss, and it's because of Solomon. Yes, he's a great guy. Something is different with him. So the boss also started saying, Solomon, people are talking about Solomon. So he also then started, his character started changing. He never used to come. And when I used to work, he used to come, Solomon, you want shawarma to eat? Like he never did it to me earlier. I said, आज कहाँ से आ गया सूरज कहाँ से निकला आज and he started, I could see the reaction that he started changing. And another thing, I used to stay in a very small room. Then he gave me a bigger place to stay, and from my salary it was, I think, 4,000 or 4 to 6,000 was my salary. 6,000 was my salary. He directly shoot the salary to 15,000
Wow.
within a month. I knew it was God. I knew it was God. It was truly God, because I could see. And my intention. I forgot to tell you the main thing. When God was speaking to me that you cannot satisfy anybody. I got a scripture says. He says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and rest everything will be added to you." That I could see. I started seeking the kingdom of God. For me, nothing. I didn't wanted to focus on it. No, nor money, nor my career. I said, if I seek the kingdom of God, if I go behind, the money will come behind me. Everything will follow. That is the promise of God. So I kept on to my promise, and I said, this is the thing. I'm going to seek the kingdom of God and His righteousness. Rest, everything will be added to me. And that's what happened. And things began to change. Yes.
Wow.
Telling about
continue.
my encounter. Telling about my encounter. It's a 3 hours movie. It's so beautiful. How I got encounter with God. There was a period where I started, hating church, hating God. Though I was, I brought up in a Christian organization. That's where I knew God, and but when things went wrong, I started hating God, and I stopped going to church also. So I was a person who used to come, I sit at the last seat and disappear before the message is over. When pastor used to come to search me, I'm not there. He saw me at the end of the sermon. So I started, ignoring. I started, escaping from the prayer. There was a period where I stopped going to the church. There was a time where there was a 3 days meeting conference which was happening in Goa, and one of my uncle, he said, Solomon, there is 3 days conference happening. Why don't you go for that event or that meeting? I said, Masa, he's my uncle. I said, not happening. I can't go. First of all, my boss is very rude. He will not allow me to go. First of all, he never gave me a holiday for even Gandhi Jayanti or whatever it is. He has never given me holiday. And especially when it comes to 3 days, not impossible. It's not going to happen. So I said, it's not going to. He said, no, try to speak to your boss. He will send you. Go, just ask him. I said, actually, I didn't want to go from inside. I said, okay, I will ask him, but I'm sure that he's not going to send me. And then he said, try. Then I said, okay, I'll try. Then he told me there is 300 rupees registration fees. Then I had another idea to escape. I said, I don't have money also. I don't want to. I mean, that was the reason.
Yeah.
And he removed the money and said, take this money, you go for the meeting. I'm trying to avoid, and he's like trying to force me. I said, okay, at only one condition, if my boss allows, because I know he's not going to, but let me give a try. So I went to my boss and I said, sir, he's a Roman Catholic, and I told him, sir, I have to go to retreat, 3 days retreat. And I said, okay, 3 days, huh? Okay. Then he said, okay, go pray for me also, he said. That was the first time he suddenly told me to go. And this is surprising for me. If he's saying to go, I think I better take 3 days leave, because I hardly get leave or holidays. Yes, that was the first day when I entered. I was at the last seat. At the last seat, and I was just looking. Pastor was preaching, and there was a time where there was a person. He was a polio guy. He was sitting next to me, and there was a pastor from Australia. So he said, there is a person here. If anybody wants a healing, can please come. So then this person next to me, he walked in front. He had a short hand and a short leg. and I knew he was sitting right next to me. So he went in front, and then he said, Pastor, this is I have a short hand and short leg. So the pastor and everyone together pray for him, and the hand, when they prayed, slowly it came and joined it straight. And
Wow.
I had heard about healing and everything I heard, but I'd never seen it with my eyes. So I
Nice.
was like, this was the first time that I saw healing in my life. I said, wow, man, this is something very different. Then I went even 2 row in front to see, because the leg also was left. I wanted to see if the leg is also becoming straight. And they prayed for the leg, and they focused the camera on his leg, and I could literally see that leg also came in line, and it was in the same size. I was stunned. I was like, wow, this is so great. This is like unbelievable. So I was a little more charged up. I said, God is real, and I was like really. I wanted
Tomorrow.
to, yeah. And okay, that was the thing. And I came in the second row or third row. I was sitting right next to a speaker which was hitting my ear, and I remember I had a ear problem. The ear used to pain a lot. So like, and that ear was like, the speaker was right next to my ear, and it was like, preaching, screaming, and I wanted to go out, because I was fidgeting so much and it was paining me. I wanted to get up, and the pastor announced, there is one boy here which, whose ear is paining and it is fidgeting. I sat chup chap, like, is he talking about me? I waited for somebody else to stand up. Maybe he's not talking about me. Maybe he's talking about somebody else. You know. And then again he said, there's a boy who has a pain in his left ear, and he's having a problem right now. If you are that person, please come in the stage. So I knew it was me. So I went up. I said, Pastor, it's me. So he said, let's pray for Solomon. Then they prayed for me, and they told me to check. And I said, I checked, it was not healed. And I'm like a straight kind of person. If it is healed, yes, it is healed. If it is not healed, I will say it's not healed. They asked me, they asked me to check my ear. I said, check your ear is healed. I said, I checked. I said, nothing has happened. It's same. It's paining. No, you are healed. I said, no, it's still paining. Okay, let's pray together again. So they prayed for me again. And they prayed again, and then he said, now check. Then again I checked, it was still paining, and it didn't heal. And the pastor says, you are healed, go, sit down. I said, kahan pe heal? I am not healed. I went back into my place thinking, I saw the miracle right in front of my eyes, that why I was not healed. And in some time, in 5 minutes time, something started working in my ear. Some seizure, like a kind of an operation was happening in my ear, and suddenly my ear became so clear that my other ear was little. I could hear less, and this was more clear than the other ear. And totally the pain went, and I ran to the stage. Pastor, I said, I'm healed, and I was so excited. And with the excitement, I said, Pastor, my this ear is healed. I want you to pray for the other ear also, because it is now a little listening to the less. Because of excitement, I was like praying. So they also prayed for my other ear, and it got healed. So I was full charged up. I was like full charged up. And the next day, I was the first person to enter and the first seat, because I was like really excited about Jesus, and really excited about the signs and wonders. I remember I was dancing in the worship, jumping like 3-4 feet up, and with breath, full on swing. I was so rejoicing in the Lord. I remember at the end they had something called the fire tunnel. There's a prayer. Okay, so they all hold. We have to enter in through the hand. So they pray each one. There was a team from Australia, and I was praying. I was the first one to enter the tunnel. So the prayer, and the first one to collapse. When they was praying, I don't know. I collapsed on the floor, and it was amazing. I think I need to share this, because this is the life means a great experience that I ever had in my life. As I fell on the ground, I remember I saw a vision. this is a very powerful vision, and what I see myself today was in the vision that I saw that day. I fell on the ground, and I always wanted to see heaven. I always wanted to see कि heaven कैसा होता है. I heard about milk and honey and all the stuff, and everything was there. Like, sometimes I used to imagine how heaven would be, my imagination. And I used to only see the gate of it. I used to see a picture of the gate of heaven, and every time I wanted to enter it, it used to disappear. This happened to me before also. But on that day, I could see the same gate, but that gate opened.
Wow.
And I'm not physically, I'm not on the same age, but I'm like a small kid. Like, I was a kind of 4 years old. I'm a small kid. And as soon as the gate opened, there was angels lifting me and swinging me. Solomon is come, Solomon is come. And they're like, I'm like from here to there. Woo! Can you imagine? I cannot forget that moment, because it was such a joy. I was like, wow, what a moment is this. The second scene was, Jesus calling me. He's putting me a ring, and he's putting me a crown, and he's he's giving me the rope, he's giving me the shield, and he's saying, Solomon, you are the prince. He said, whatever you see is yours. And I'm like, wow. And he made me to sit next to him on the right hand side. And I'm like, wow, I have never experienced such. I was like, wow, I'm a prince. That was a feeling. And the third scene that I'll say it is a Garden of Eden, because it was a garden, and I was sitting on a lion, and Jesus was walking with me. I'm sitting on the lion, and Jesus is walking in the garden. And there's a deer. The deer comes, cut, and he just dashes the lion, and I fall down, and I start crying. And I start crying and crying. Now Jesus gets angry and says, he says to the deer, why you made Solomon cry? And deer says, then he says, now Jesus says to deer, now do something that Solomon will laugh. And deer, how it is, the eyes coming out, the ear becoming big, all this Cartoon Network. He tried to do all these funny faces, and I was like still crying. He says, lion, can you do something that Solomon is happy? So lion also start roaring like a funny roar, like a cat, and trying to do all sort of things, but no, it's not happening. Then Jesus announced a big crusade in the evening. All the creatures, whoever makes Solomon laugh will get a reward. And it was a big, I remember it was a big mega like a stadium kind of thing, and I was sitting right next to Jesus, and there was the first thing was the elephant entered. They did some performance and they went, and then giraffe and all, they came, they did some performance and they went, and the birds came and did some formations and all those stuff, they went, and everything they all tried, but Jesus saw me and like nothing happening. Nobody. Next. Finally everybody got over. Finally Jesus himself got up on the stage and started dancing, and that is the time I was burst out laughing, like crazy laugh. I was on the floor, and people later on said that I was crying, I was laughing. Actually, they did not know what's happening within me, because this is what I was saying. I was laughing, I was crying, and that was I felt such a joy. That was a scene. Then another scene was I'm fishing with Jesus in the sea, and I'm sitting on his lap and I'm fishing, and Jesus asked me, Solomon, did you find a son? He said, did you find any fish? I said, no, Dad. And Jesus turns his face and winkles his eyes and says, he winkles his eyes, and all the fish says, catch me. And like, no, and I'm saying, Lord, this cheating, this is not happening. A father and a son relationship. That was an amazing experience that I had. And the other scene was that I was sleeping in the deepest ocean with pearl, that shell as my pillow, and the fish, they are, putting us to sleep. It was like a Disney World, you can say. Yes, some people when I share about this, are like, do you watch a lot of cartoons? I said, no, I don't watch cartoons. But this is what happened. But the final scene I want to tell, the final scene, I was on the floor for almost 3 hours. The meeting got over, and everyone is waiting for when this boy will get up. When this boy will get up. Everyone is waiting. Even pastor had to leave. He waited for me to get up because he had something to share about me. And I got up. I mean, before I get up, this is the last scene that took place. I'm climbing on the mountain like this. My leg like this, like this. I'm climbing on the mountain, and there are two angels on the right and the left, like for support if anything falls. And Jesus is there to hold me in case I fall. I was climbing this, and there was this team called Burn 24/7, Pratap Darshi, and their team. They was leading worship. After that, there was a 12 hours of worship or some 3 hours of worship. So the song which was playing was similar to the vision I was looking. It says, I will climb these mountains with my hands wide open. I will climb these mountains with my hands wide open. This is what I was looking at. That was the exact scene that I was looking. And I was like, I was crying. I don't know what I was saying. There was a hot tears flowing from my, I got up because of the sound. And they say, hey, Soloman Lambani, he got up. People were trying to wake me up and I was like falling. People were trying to wake me up and I was like falling. And they gave me some water to drink, and they put me on a chair and they asked me to relax for some time. You won't believe. The pastor who waited for me, he came to me and he said, the first thing that he said, how was Father's love? I was in tears. I could not experience. How did he know? I saw the vision. Like, how did he come to know that I had a relationship of a father and a son? Oh my God, I forgot to share that after the crusade, I remember the person who will make you laugh. That there was a reward which was supposed to be given to the person who will make me laugh. That reward was given back to me. You know what the reward was? It was a guitar.
Wow.
It was a guitar. I missed this. So the second question that pastor asked was, what about the guitar? I was stunned, and like, what is he asking me about guitar? And he said, God is going to use you for worship ministry. You are going to lead worship. Not only that, the very next Sunday, you are going to lead worship. And believe me, I don't know to hold a guitar. I have no idea about I know guitar, but I don't know what chord, nothing. And this person is coming and telling me, for me, it is leading worship means is only guitar. If you know to play guitar, that means you are a worship leader. But in my case,
yeah, agree.
In my case, I don't know any instrument. So, but I was so excited. I was so like full on with God and fire and everything. And I said, I'm so excited. Yes, I'm going to lead worship next Sunday. Everything with excitement. Everything was like so good. And that was the encounter. And that is where the Lord showed me this dream that I'm going to go on heights. I'm going to be, God is going to give me a guitar, and that guitar becomes my pet. I take that guitar everywhere I go. That is happening today. There's so many visions that I can share and connect to right now in my life, where God has, He's taken me to so heights that I'm still, climbing the mountain, with my hands wide open. Everything is just the way how God showed me. Even when it comes to guitar, when it comes to fishing is like not fishing but fishing the, man, woman of God, new souls to come in the Christ. There are so many people who are getting blessed. So everything that I saw in the vision, even myself, I always lacked the love of Father because I was always away from my parents. I was always away. I never had that kind of relationship of a father or a mother because I used to always like there's nobody to love me. So I could experience the Father's love. That was the moment, like I said, this is something different, and this God is so real. And I was full with on fire with God. I said nothing doing. Nothing satisfies me in this world. If anything satisfies me, is Jesus. That was my thing. So yeah, that is how I got encounter with Jesus.
That was very beautiful. And like how God was being mindful to be a father and an actual father who will dance with you to make you laugh. That
That was
was really
so good.
beautiful. The next question is somehow connected with it. So, you play quite a few instruments now, and starting with guitar, how was it? How did you learn? Because you said you don't know it, and the prophecy happened. So,
Yeah,
how
this is
did
also very
guitar playing
interesting.
happen?
This is also very interesting actually. I don't come from a musical background nor Sangeet and everything. That is out of my question. I had a horrible voice first of all. People used to hate me, and everything was good. But when it came, Jesus said, I mean, for me, I got a vision that I'm leading worship, and I was so excited. Next day was Sunday, and I was the first person to be in the church. Pastor is surprised how Solomon is come first and sitting in the first row, which never happened. I was so excited, and at the end of service, I wanted to talk to Pastor because I wanted to tell him what God told me, leading worship. That was like I was like really excited. I went to after the sermon got over. I went to my pastor and I said, uh, Pastor, this is what happened yesterday. I got a prophecy that I'm going to lead worship. I said, wow, Solomon, that is good. Do you know to play any instrument? He asked me. I said, I don't know. You need to learn instrument. As a pastor, he says, no, start learning instrument. But I said, no, Pastor, next Sunday. That is what it was. I have to lead worship next Sunday. But pastor is saying, no, 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 no. Means you have to learn something at least. It was right from his side, and also he uh, he told me nicely. I said, you learn music, then we'll see about it. Then again, I said, Pastor, next Sunday I have to lead. Then he said, no, no, no. You start with the cell group, house group. That then we'll see later on. I said, okay. All my fire came cool, like
Down.
gaya sab. ये होने वाला नहीं है. Nothing was going to happen now. But it's very beautiful the way God works. Sometimes if he ऐसा ये उंगली से नहीं होगा ना तो प्रभु तेरा रास्ता से करता कुछ. Same Sunday afternoon, I went to my brother-in-law's house for like for a lunch, and we were discussing, and he said, Solomon, my brother-in-law is saying, I want to learn guitar. He said, and I said, it's good. You should learn guitar. And I'm encouraging my brother-in-law to learn guitar where I have to learn guitar. So I forgot about my dreams. I forgot about everything that I, you know. So
Had.
yeah, but he told me I don't have a guitar. If I have a spare guitar, no, I will. You know what I said? I have a friend in some place. He's telling me to take his spare guitar from a very long time. But you know what? Today we'll go. I'll get this guitar for you. Just see what I'm. It's all the way around. We both went driving all the way to North Goa to get a guitar for him to learn. So by the time we came in the night, it was like almost dinner time. So brother-in-law said, before you go home, dinner is ready. Have dinner and then go. I said okay. I was eating dinner, and he finished dinner before me. So he opened the guitar, and I don't know what, he was playing some horrible chords. It was so annoying, and I was still eating my food. After I finished my food, I took the guitar. I said, show me the guitar. Let me see how the guitar is. So I took the guitar from him, and I don't know what chord I hold. I mean, I don't remember, but I did just one strum. I'm telling you, I fell in love with that guitar at that very moment. Like, wow, this is so beautiful. And how do I tell my brother-in-law that I'm going to take this guitar? Slowly, I packed the guitar. Slowly, I packed the guitar, and I put it on my back, and I started running. I said, and he's like, "Arey, this guitar you bought for me." I said, "No, it's for me." No, sorry, and I ran away. The way God works. That night, I came to my room and I said, Jesus, here is the guitar. Here I am. You tell me what should I do. Again, that spirit was like on fire, and I had a feeling now. I heard like call pastor and see. It was almost 11 o'clock in the night, 11:30 something in the night. I think maybe pastor must be sleeping or something, so I didn't want to disturb. But still, in my spirit, like call pastor. I called pastor in the night. In 2 rings only, I cut the call. I like maybe sleeping. So in 5 minutes, he called me back and he called me, Solomon, did you call me? I said, Pastor, sorry to disturb you. Just to tell you, I was talking to you in the morning about leading worship. No, I have the guitar now. Can I lead worship this Sunday? My pastor, like, oh my God, poor guy. He was like trying to explain me very nicely. No, no, Solomon, it doesn't work. Church is a community. I cannot put any Tom, Dick, and Harry in the stage. You know that. And he was like trying to, trying to convince me. And I was like, no, prophecy. I have to lead worship this Sunday. And finally, he got like he had suddenly something popped into his head. We have a Hindi service, so I used to go for English service. So Hindi service don't have any worship leader, and they all play tali bajao or congo bajao, kuch bhi bajao. They don't know what is music ka pata hi nahi hai. Pastor is good. He will not leave me. I'll put him in Hindi service. Let him do whatever he wants to do. So he called the Hindi pastor and he said, call Soloman and tell him if he can lead worship in Hindi service. And you see, I said, whichever service, I have to lead worship. That's it. I got a call of my Hindi pastor and he said, Solomon, pastor was telling about, yes, everything is. Are you going to lead worship this Sunday? I said, yes, I'm leading Sunday. Do you know to play guitar? I said, no. Then how are you going to lead? I told him, how many songs do you want for a worship? Like 2 fast songs and 2 slow songs and 1 offering song. I said, okay, I will prepare that song. I didn't know how I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to prepare that song. That's it. I prayed. I said, now the burden came on my head. I said, I yes to the worship. And now I'm like shivering, like what is going to happen? I don't know guitar to play and I'm to lead worship this Sunday. I prayed, Lord, you gave me the prophecy. Everything is okay. Now here, what should I do? God works such a mighty way. Ashley Joseph, no? Ashley Joseph, stutiaradhana.com. God led me to that site, stutiaradhana.com. I told Ashley, I especially went to Ashley Joseph and met him in Delhi, say, I learned from you the guitar. I saw his videos. I used to see, play D, play E, A, go D. I used to watch his video and hold the chords and I used to learn chords and learn. Somehow I managed to learn 1 song and everything. I managed, the whole scheme came out of my fingers. And even in the office, I used to not focus on my work. When boss used to come, I used to minimize the screen and maximize the screen, see the YouTube video and everything, all those things. The whole week I was doing that thing. Sleep with the guitar, get up with the guitar, forget about food. I'm just learning songs for this week. Saturday came, I got a call. Are you ready now, Solomon? My heart is like, is beating more faster now. And there's something in me saying, Solomon, don't make fool out of yourself. Better say no and cut marle. But no. I'm from my spirit. I'm battling with both the spirit. Like I have to do, and also forget and make fun of myself. Anyways, Sunday, I went to the English service to see how they lead worship. And it was, to see how they talk and how they and just for an idea, because after English was Hindi service, so that time people used to not know me much. And I went there. I saw them how they're leading worship. It's going above my head, all lead and what drum and everything is going above my head. I better say, Abhi kalti marega, and not doing anymore. So everything is like, I'm trying to quit. But something in my spirit said, don't quit. Now it's happening. And I remember that time I had a long hair, like a very fancy fellow. I had a long hair, colored and everything stuff. So people used to not recognize me much in the church because I used to hardly come to the church. So as soon as the English service got over, I walked with my guitar on the stage. Some people thought I am a worship leader, guest worship leader from Mumbai or something, look fancy and all the stuff. Half of the English service people who were supposed to leave, especially the worship team who was supposed to leave, they came back and sat in the first row to see who is the worship leader, the guest worship leader. I said, my God, somehow I managed the Hindi people to play any chord, but this all professional guitarists and all the musicians are sitting in first row and I don't know what to do now. I'm stunned now. I'm full nervous. I said, my God. I remember, forget it. I closed my eyes from first song to the last song. I did not open my eyes. I did not know what I said, what I sang also, I don't know. Somehow I finished last song, opened my eyes, ran back to my place and I said, on my last seat. I said, God, my ho gaya. You told me leading worship, ho gaya. I did it. That's it. And I was nervous. I wanted to go home, and before people give bad report or bad comment feedback, I better go home. So at the end, something made me to sit back and let me see what the crowd has to say. I remember after uh, after I came back, after the worship got over, one lady came to me. No, one lady came to me. He said, brother, आपने जो बोला ना, यहाँ पे एक औरत है जिसको ये प्रॉब्लम है या वो प्रॉब्लम है, वो औरत मैं थी. आपने प्रेयर किया, सचमुच आज मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. I said, अरे मैं ये कब बोला? I don't remember when I said that. And she came and testified. Okay, forget. The worship team people came and they said, what worship? Very nice, good worship leading and all. They said, I knew these people are pulling my leg. No, I did not take anything from them. I know they are making fun of me, so I just ignored them. But another old man came and he said, Solomon, when you are leading worship, no, you said there is a man who has this problem, that. And I said, when did I say that? Like, they are coming and testifying. So I knew these people will not lie. Maybe our team might lie simply pulling my leg, but these old people will not lie. They are so genuine. I think something must have happened. So I knew it was God worked at that moment. Finally, my pastor comes to me and he says, Solomon, I'm speechless. I'm surprised. And he says, it is only possible with God. I never thought this could happen. You really led well. From today, you lead the Hindi service. That was my journey, how I started leading worship in the church, and then on, yes, improvisation. Just with 4 chords. And till now, I know only 4 chords, and with my help of the capo, my gun, I do it all.
That is such a nice way of learning guitar. That within a week
amazing.
You learned the guitar.
That is truly God. I can say it's not me, or it's not. I think if you have a call of God in your life, I think He knows how to make it come true or come in place. So that surprised not only me but so many people. How is it possible to learn guitar in 7 days? So it was so very different, profound.
That is profound indeed, and that is beautiful. And thank you for answering that question that actually blessed so many of us, at least me it did. Before moving on next questions, I guess we have to shoot into another live and take it, because
Okay.
I think that in between of your answer, it might just be cut off. Okay, so jumping right into the next question. How did songwriting came to you, or how do you process songwriting for yourself?
Yeah, I remember when I used to that moment where I was alone in the room. One reason was when I used to play worship guitar in my room with the mirror in front. I remember the first. It was an Easter day, and I saw my face in the mirror, and I was like, "पता है मेरा यीशु जिंदा है और वो आने वाला है." Like, नहीं, वो मुर्दा है. That is how there was song. I wrote the first song. Yeah, मेरा यीशु जिंदा है. And one incident I want to share among all the songs, which is real touched my heart, is when there was even before, in the time where I told you that I had a tough time with my boss. Sometimes I used to come home hungry, and I used to sleep because I had to cook, so I had to sleep. So one day I slept like that only, and at around 4 o'clock I got up, and I had nothing to do. Like, what should I do now? I checked whether anybody is online and to see if I can talk to somebody, like last seen on WhatsApp or Facebook, to see if any of my friends are online so that I can talk to them. I really wanted to talk to somebody, and I had nobody in the room to talk to. So I don't know, some weird idea came to my mind. I said, just send a message to God.
So I took my phone, I went to my message, sent to nobody. On the message I wrote, "बोल प्रभु बोल, मेरे कानों को तो खोल, तेरी मीठी आवाज को सुनना है मुझे." No, and I said, "खोल प्रभु खोल, मेरे आंखों को तो खोल, तेरी खूबसूरती को देखना है मुझे." I was writing, I was actually texting to God. I don't know, because I don't know whom to talk to. I was texting to God, and I went to sleep. I fell asleep, and in the morning I get up and I see the whole song is in my draft in the message.
Wow.
So I was like, in the morning I saw the song and I said, wow, it's such a beautiful song. And I started giving it a tune and then started working on. Most of my songs came spontaneous in the church service. My worship team, whenever they know, okay, some different, whatever we practice did not come out, something he's singing something else, they know, okay, this some new song is coming out. So my friend Gerald is live here, so he's watching. He used to record, put his phone on a record button and start recording, because he knew it was a live song. So that's how we recorded most of the songs, like live.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing time
That's
I had
nice.
to write these songs.
That's great. And you have, with God, written some amazing songs. Is it okay?
Can't hear you. Sorry, 1 second. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Still can't hear me?
I can't hear you. Sorry.
Okay. Let me check what's the issue. Can you hear me now? Not at all?
No. Can't hear you.
Oh, I don't know what is it.
1
Then
second. Let me just. Can you talk?
yes.
Maybe my.
Oh, your earphones are not working.
Let me try to connect it back. 1 minute.
Okay, sure. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I had to reconnect.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Absolutely fine. So, coming to next question would be that not a lot of people know that you are an architect by profession and you go and make some fancy kitchens in some big houses. So, how does that happen? I know that, like you, as you earlier told, that you never studied for it, you never went to architecture college.
Right.
So how does that happen? Like designing something, it's not like a cakewalk that you go and
Right.
do things. And when it comes to interiors, so how did that happen for you? You want to share a little?
Still when I was studying in El Shaddai, we had a privilege, to work. I mean, we had an option. In fact, there was a architect who was retired. He was from Australia, Len Alfonso. No, he used to teach us. Like he used to take free classes. He used to always, when I used to meet him, he used to always come to call me to his house. He used to say, "Come to my house." He used to give me pocket money to at least, and I used to go home just because of his money, and that pulled me. So he put me an idea to learn. Even some of my friend also was learning. So I said, forget, nothing is happening. Let me learn architecture. So he personally taught us. So he's a very well-known architect. So he was the one who personally taught me to do designing, but very basic. Uh, After that, I started learning on my own. Uh, Especially the interiors. When I started working as an interior designer in that office, I explored myself more in learning new softwares and trying to see the designs. And I made up a trip to Mumbai to just do a short-term course of interior designing. That's it. Yeah, I
Okay.
learned. Yeah, but uh, through my work and experience, God was so faithful. He was. I would truly say it's all about Him. Yes, I don't deserve anything, because it was not possible. with my own knowledge, or because only him that I could cope up in this field. And to tell you the way God moved in that, I'll tell you the testimony. The same office where I used to work earlier, now I'm the owner of the same office.
Wow.
So no, I was always I want to say this because I want to say that the place which was one day curse for me, God turned into blessing. You know,
Yes.
I used to always wanted to leave that office. I wanted to go to that leave the office, but still it was I had to hold on. I always say this statement I always make. Whoever asks me, God shows us vision. He shows my life is all parallel to the life of Joseph. He's a great character in the Bible, so I always compare myself to him. And he says, um, God shows Joseph a dream. He said, your parents is going to bow down, and your brothers are going to bow down. You're going to become the minister. All these dreams. And God showed me actually. He showed me a dream that He's going to lift me up and everything. The vision that I spoke to you, but I could not see how it would come to pass because I had no hope. So, but as the good thing about our God is He will show you the vision, but He will not tell you the how to go about it. We have he will, if God had to tell Joseph, you are going to become great man, but to go to that place first, your brothers will deny you, they will try to kill you, they will put you in the pit, then they are going to sell you, then you're going to be in the prison, then you are going to be. If God had to tell all these procedures, I think Joseph would have said, "Thank you, Jesus. I don't want the dream. I am good here with my father and this my sheep and flocks." So same thing. God will show you the vision, but He will not tell you the process. I think it is He will take us to the process. He will build us up. He is going to nurture us. I think that He was building me in every process of my life, every stage of my life, even at that workplace. That 5 years was a real hard time that I had to stay with Him. He was not allowing me to leave the job first of all, not giving. It was so He was like holding on to me, but I thank God. It was for purpose that He was training me in that place. Now today,
Yes.
that owner, the boss of mine is abroad, and the office I have taken over. So I am running it with a new brand. It's called Vision Design. So that's how our God is. That's how our God works. So always God will show you the vision, but He will not tell you the procedure how to go that. We have to go through it, and He is going to mold us and nourish us and make us eligible to it.
So true,
Yeah,
so true. And then people, if you're in Goa or around Goa, and if you need any designing, like reach out to Solomon, reach out to Vision Designs. I have personally got the opportunity to see his workplace. He have some beautiful layouts made in his workplace that you should go. And I'm not saying for the sake of saying, he's really good at it work, at his work.
thank you.
So,
Thank you so
so
much.
please make a visit, or even if you're visiting Goa, make sure you go see them, and you can even ask them to come do for your city. You can do that, right?
Always welcome. Always welcome.
Nice. Okay, so the last question would be that that your climbing mountain vision came up, that you've been traveling to places, you've been a traveling minister and worship leader, going to places. So I want to ask, how much have things changed after that? And also, I want to ask that what is that one thing, or like many things, if it's there, that have kept you grounded, kept you humble, that you are still a human, that though you have stage and people know you, you will still go around and run and help people. That was one of the things that really caught my attention of you when I visited Goa. Like you would do all that pasine wala kam, bhagna, wagna, dopair, raat, and we gave you a hard time even at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and you were like there to help. So I want to ask, what kept you grounded and how much things have changed?
When the people see me now, they say Solomon bada insan hai, bahut hai. But if you like personally meet me, like how I mean, I am not that kind of. Some people think that I'm a bada insan, but I know in my place I am not that. Because the thing that made me grounded in what I am today, I always see back where I was and how God lifted me up. That is one thing that I always like remind myself, Solomon, remember where were you? Now, sometimes people come to a place where they reach to height, but they forget from where they've come. They forget everything, and then I think that is I always see from where I began with, and I say I want to remain the same, the way I was first with God, or maybe how I was in the initial days. I want to be the same, because I think that is the place. And second thing is, when your heart is upright with God, my only concern is, if my heart has to be upright. If I'm okay with God, I always say, Lord, if, my life is pleasing to you, that's it. If my life is pleasing to God, I think I don't need anything, because I always, if your heart is right with God, you will always stay humble. And also, more than earning money, or more than any fame, more than anything, I always, I believe in earning people. I have, maybe at times you will have no money and you will collapse, but if you have friends, if you have people who can hold you, I think I strongly believe, I work a lot with, I have got to do a lot with people. I maintain relationship, and I work, in maintaining the people. I earn people. Yes, I earn people, because I know you never know, in any time in the life they will need you. Like how I help you. Maybe when I come to your place, you'll first come to me and say, "Come, you help me," because I have that thing. You never know when people will come at your work, or maybe at time when you need them. So I always say, yeah, work hard, be humble, and not earn money but earn people. Yes.
That is very beautiful, and rightly said. You can come anytime to Hyderabad, and I would love to help you. And this is your house, you can come anytime. Okay, so we are done with the questions, and you have made through the questions. Now comes the fun part, the rapid fire questions. So it has to be rapid, and you have to be like really quick with your answers, okay? Ready?
Yes.
Okay. So one rumor or assumption that has been said about you which is not true.
Okay.
You have to tell one rumor that
What
you
is
have
it?
heard about it. One rumor
Okay.
you
Okay.
have
Okay.
heard about yourself, or an assumption that you have heard about yourself which is not true.
Um, People think I'm very proud, which I am not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Solomon is not a proud human. He doesn't have pride in it. Him.
No.
Okay. Second question is, if you were given a lakh rupee, like right now, what will you do? Like right now, I give you 1 lakh rupee. What will you do now? The first thing, and why?
First thing, what if I get 1 lakh rupees? I think I first invest in music, or any uh, sound, or a guitar, or anything which comes to related to music and ministry. Because
And
that
why?
is what I'm. That is what I actually. First thing that comes to me when it comes to ministry, I don't see about myself. That is what I am. When I have money, even I don't think about myself. What I can do for the ministry, what I can do for God. That is the first thing that comes to me, and go for it, or maybe bless somebody in amount, not full amount, but yes, in certain amount I can bless someone and be a blessing with that same money for myself too.
Good. That was really honest. Okay. One weirdest or scariest thing that you have done in your life till date. It could be weird
Um,
or it could be scary.
I can't remember what did I do. Um, Scariest thing, weird. Yeah, I think I was coming from where is that? Amritsar. I had gone for a mission trip into Amritsar with my mission trip, and I remember I was charging the phone. My compartment didn't have. I mean, the charger was not working, so I was like standing in the passage near the door to put the charge. And then a long time I was like holding it, so I thought I'll keep it on the, you know, there's a board there. So I thought I'll keep it. I thought there's a surface. There was no surface. The mobile fell into the train and it fell. It was a superfast express. So I had to pull the chain, run without informing anybody, and go run to find my phone. And I did not take my wallet. I was on my shorts in the morning. and I was like running, and I see my train going behind. So it was
pull the chain and run. Funniest thing that
Wow.
I've done.
Okay. I didn't see that coming.
One
So
second,
just
your
for a
voice is
phone,
gone. One second, one second.
your earphone is disconnected, I believe again.
One second.
You can, if you want, you can do it without it.
I think better. Okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Sir.
Okay, so that was great that just for a phone that you pulled the chain of a running train and you got up for the phone. Okay, next. Okay, three things that you never leave your house without.
Um, Otrivin. Otrivin. I have a nose block, so I always keep Otrivin with me. Yes. The bike key for sure. And and yeah, I have a bag always with me.
Okay, nice.
And वो bag में पूरा
Okay,
जन्नत है.
okay, okay. One thing that you have learned during lockdown.
Editing. I pushed myself into editing because when it comes to church online thing, I saw a place where I think I need to push myself into it because not my cup of tea or doing this editing, but I felt I think I need to be in that place. I need because nobody in the church, I mean, know about it. So I thought I'll push myself in that thing, and I started editing, learning editing, and I've learned editing. Yes, video editing.
Wow. Now, people, if you have videos to edit, you know whom to contact. So, okay, the last question for the rapid fire will be, tell me the three worship postures that you have, which is common, and do it.
I do. How I do? I was always keep not yeah, this one question. Then yeah, this one and yeah, I keep moving. I keep moving with the guitar.
Okay, that is three. So, okay, we're done with rapid fire. You did very well. So now we have some photo flashbacks, pictures of you from the past that you have posted some ages of the time on social media. And you have to tell us why that picture, what is it about, and what was in your mind while you were clicking it. Okay, so I'll turn the camera and then you can see. Just a second.
Oh my god. Okay. If you see on top, it is written some in some different language, some Chinese language on top.
Yes.
It says I love you.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So actually, I simply designed this. I was trying to learn some editing, so I thought since I'm holding a flower, so I thought I will do, and I was just posing it. So yeah, I wrote "I love you," not to
Nice.
send
Okay.
anybody.
Tell me about this.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is in Mumbai. I had gone for a tour. I do a lot of theaters. Like this is one of the thing I do. I do stilt walking. I do acrobats. I do unicycle. All the circus wala kam I do. I've learned that. Yes.
So, guys, if you can't recognize the guy who is falling is Solomon.
I dance on the stilts.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay, tell me about this.
Yeah, my pro Photoshop photo editing some app I had, or I was trying to learn some editing, and this was like I think it's ready template. Try to do something. It's a very cute photo.
Yes, okay, next.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was posing for this photo. This was in my room where I should stay alone earlier. This is in my balcony, so I was like kind of a cool person at that time. So I gave it. I
Nice,
think
okay.
Jerwell clicked this photo. It was on my birthday.
Nice. Okay, tell me about this.
Yeah, same thing. This was event. Yeah, I think it's in Goa. It's a very famous. We do carnival, which happens every. It's a for the tourists. So I should do all this carnival. I should do all this acting and all. So I was. This is in my green room. Or maybe I was getting ready.
Nice. Okay. Tell me about this last pic.
Yeah, this I remember. This photo was taken in Kalangut beach. When I initially when I got my first guitar, I dedicated that guitar to the beach evangelism, where I started going to the beach and I thought I will share the gospel. So I started with two people, and in future became many. But yeah, it was on the beach where we started evangelism. We used to play guitar and just evangelize.
Wow, that is beautiful. I'm really glad that I picked that picture. You did well. You had
Thank
some
you.
fun pictures and memory. Okay, now we are at the last session of the in today's interview, and that is assumptions that people have made about you. So you have to just say if these assumptions are true or false. You don't need to explain or anything. Okay, cool. First assumption is Solomon loves to visit Aurangabad always.
Yeah, not always, but yes, I love to go to Aurangabad.
Okay, nice. So people of Aurangabad, he does loves to come to you. Okay.
I love you, but
Uh,
I don't go it always. Yeah, more frequently I go to Aurangabad.
okay. Second, he has studied and grew up in El Shaddai Charitable Trust, Goa. True.
Right,
Okay. Um, he is the happiest person I know. He's always happy.
right.
Okay, you're always happy. Uh, okay, the next one is he always carries a hairdryer with him.
I know who said this, but I stopped using. It stopped working. You can give me whoever said this. Please give me one hair dryer.
Okay, okay, second. He was a part of a circus community.
What is that?
You were a part of a circus community.
Not circus community, no. But in my school days, yes, I was part of this fantasy. I was all the skilled walking. What you saw, that is what I should do, but not circus.
Yeah, oh, okay. Okay, next is he's from Nagaland.
How? No way. I am from Nagaland. Come on, I am from Karnataka originally, from Gadag, but settled in Goa.
Okay. Last second is Pastor Stilbo is his favorite pastor.
Very true.
Okay. Last is uh, which you have to be true about it, okay? That Solomon drives very rash.
Yes.
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 Good. Thank you for being honest. I
That
almost
was you.
felt one.
That was you.
Yes. So this was not me. There are other people whom you have scared to death with your driving. But this was fun having you on Tales to Testimony. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for being so real with your stories, with your heart, and being so open and vulnerable with parts of your life that I believe some were sensitive. And so, thank you for
Thank
being
you
a
for
part of
having
Tales
me.
to
Thank you
Testimony.
for having me.
Yes. Is
Thank you
there
for
anything
thinking
you
about
want
me.
to say?
No, thank you for bearing with us. I think I took a lot of time, but yes, I cannot stop, glorifying the Lord because He has done, He has lifted me in a no quick time. It's take to come to this place. I know how hard it takes, but it was only God who just lifted me up and kept me in this place. So God bless you. Take care.
Thank you, people. Thank you for joining in for Tales to Testimony, episode 9. This is Tales to Testimony, where we share the stories of real humans, real hearts, and real lives. I'll see you next Thursday with one amazing, amazing human being that you can't afford to miss. See you till then. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.